video, I'm going to teach you how to select any kind of file and upload it into a server. We are going to do all of this in our local system, and we are going to use Ionic plus Laravel for doing this stuff. So let's get started. Now here at first I have created a new project by using this particular command and then run Ionic serve to run our project. This is how it is showing up here. Well, I have made slight changes into my home page. I have cleared up everything from the SCSS and in the HTML also, and passed a title called upload file, and also given a color of primary to our Ion toolbar. Now after doing that, it's time to work with the Ion content here, within which I'm going to at first have a div where I'm going to give Ion margin. Now within this div, I'm going to work with the input tag, which is going to be this particular one, where I'll be having, whenever it is changing, that means on file chosen, we will have a click event. Okay, so in order to work with the click event, I need to go to the TS file and create this function to get rid of the errors. On file chosen, event of type any. Alright, so this is now created. We don't have any error, and we see a design here. If I click on it, so now you can select not only an image, you can select any kind of a file here. If you don't want to do that, if you want to restrict it, you can use here accept, okay? And you can pass like you want to accept PNG file, JPEG file, or any other kind of a file. That's how you can restrict it here. I don't want to do that. So we'll go ahead and work with this particular functionality, but not in this particular design. We are going to change it. How we are going to change it? I'm going to go to the SCSS here and remove this particular design. Instead of this, I'll have my own custom design with which working will be much more efficient. Now in order to achieve that, I'll go to the SCSS file of the home page and pass here a styling where I'm going to display this particular design to be none, so that it gets hidden and I can work with the same functionality by doing my own custom design. So let's work with that also. For designing that up, I'm going to work with another div to which I'll again give Ion margin and a custom class, also a function called change file. You can give any name you want. Let's create this function here, change file function. Now I'll go to the HTML again, and within this div, what we need? Well, I'm going to pass an icon along with that some text, which is going to be this particular one. So an Ion icon, which is now imported in standalone project, where I'm passing the name to be cloud upload outline, and the color will be danger here. So I'm just using the danger color, which will give a nice look and feel. And I'm passing a p tag upload any file here. Now you are not able to see the Ion icon, for which I need to go to app.component.ts file and create a function called add all icons. Any name you can give here. But within this, you need to have another function called add icons, which is a predefined one from Ion icons, within which you have the option to pass the icons. So cloud upload outline, I'm getting the suggestion because I uploaded something else also earlier on. So I got the suggestion. If you don't get this suggestion, what you need to do is you simply need to pass this imports manually. So remember that, okay? This particular import, pass it manually, and it will show up the icon once we pass this functionality within our constructor here. In this particular way, you will be able to see now the icon. There you go. Let's go back to our HTML of the home page, or in fact the SCSS, because we need to work with the item image class that we have defined for this particular div. So item image, you can give any name. I'm going to have a fixed height of 30 VH, okay? Then a border of 1 pixel solid, danger color, border radius of 5 pixel, it will be aligned at the center, and margin of 1 VH, padding of 5 VH on all sides. But still it is not centered up. So in order to center this up, let me remove this text align for the time being. And then I'm going to pass display flex. Flex direction will be column, align items to be centered, and justify content will be centered. If I do that up, it's going to be centered up horizontally and vertically too. Now the design is fine, but how am I going to link this particular design with the earlier input tag that we used, right? That's the question. In order to do that, this identifier will come into very handy. Let's go to our TS file and start working with that. So in the home page, at the very beginning, I'm going to work with the view child here to call that particular identifier. It's gonna be the same name, and creating a variable which is of element ref, so that I can indicate to that particular input tag as a reference and pass the functionality here in the change file. If I click on the change file, it's gonna trigger the same functionality. So in order to do that, I simply need to pass this particular file picker ref dot native element dot click function. If I do that up, if I click on it, just check it out. Again, it's opening up the same thing. So this is how you can work with a custom design with the same functionality. Now on file chosen, once a file is chosen, what all functionality you need to have. Before working with this particular function, I will define some more properties here called image file, image and isImage file. Now what does it do? Well, image file will hold the file that we select here. Then the image will hold the data URL which we get after modifying the particular file and reading it up, because we want to show that image here also. If it is an image, if it is any other kind of a file, we can show a different thing, like the text part, we can show the name of the file, which can be achieved by keeping a flag that if image file is not available, definitely it's not an image, it's going to be some other thing. That is why this flag is being used. So this tree, we are going to use it here. Let's do it one by one. So whenever we select a file, this function will get triggered, where at first I'm going to set is image file to be true. By default, let's keep it as an image. Later on, we can check whether it is an image or not. If not, then we can turn it to false and log the value of the event also. After that, I will get the file out of it by getting only a single file, because in the event targets files, we will have all the files that are selected. Here we have only one option because we have not given any multiple property to that input tag. And if file does not exist, we are going to simply return. You can give a toast message here or anything else you want to work with. Once that is done, I'm simply going to initialize my image file to this particular file that we get out of it. Now after this is done, I'm simply going to check whether this is an image or not. In order to do that, I need to find the type of this particular file, which can be done in this particular way. I'll get the MIME type out of it in this way, and then I'll match it whether it holds anything called image within that or not, using the regular expression here. If it is not matching anything, that means it is null. Then simply I'm going to console log here that this is not an image, and will set isImage file to be false. So that's what you need to do. Then you can move ahead and close this if condition. Once that is done, we also need to read the file so that we can show it here. That's what we can do with the help of this file reader here, with the help of which we are going to get the data URL and pass it within the image here. So it can read any kind of a file as a data URL with the help of this file reader. If you want to learn more, you can simply hover on it and understand it up. Once that is done, we will get the image out of it with the help of this particular one, and we can display here into our HTML. Let's do that. Now I will have this particular stuff only if a condition is satisfied. That means we don't have the image, then only we are going to show this particular design. If we have the image, some other design, we are going to show it up. So let me give a condition here. If we don't have the image, then I'm going to show this design, and in the else condition, what am I going to do? I'm going to show the image, but if that is not an image, then I need to have only the text, which can be achieved with the help of this particular condition here. So if isImage file is true, then we will have the image, and I'm going to pass the image property within that, within the src. Otherwise, I'm going to just show the ion text here, where I'm going to pass the image file name, or actually whichever file you select, that particular file name. This is how it can be done. Let me select some file. I'm going to select a PDF here. You can see name is showing up. Instead of that, if I click again and select an image here, which image should I select? Let me select this particular image here. Once I select it up, I can see the image. This is how it is working. So our condition is successfully working. Let's move ahead and pass a button here for submitting or uploading the file. So at the very end, I'm going to have a button within a div where I'm passing iron margin and iron padding top to have some spacing at the top and all the other sides. Then I'm going to have a button whose expand will be block, and I'll have a functionality here called upload file. Name also upload I have given here. Now simply need to work with this particular function. Now in the upload file function, what we are going to do? At first, we are going to do everything within the try catch block, because we need to work here with the HTTP client to send our data to the server. So try catch, the catch one, I'm going to log the value of the error, and I'll make it a sync because we are going to use await also. Now first condition which I'm going to check here, that if image file does not exist, when you're clicking on the button, it's going to simply return. All right. You can even pass a toast message here. Let me keep some space to pass a toast message, or definitely we can work with that directly also. To work with the toast message, let me do something here. I'm going to pass a flag called isToast to be set to false by default here, and then I will have a toast data where I'm going to have, it is of type any, but I'm just going to have the message and the color to be dynamic. So in the HTML, I can simply work with the iron toast here at the very bottom. Let me pass it here. This will be my iron toast where is open will be set. That means it will open up if is toast is true, and then the color is being passed. By default, dark color will be passed. If we have some color, then that particular color will be passed. Message will be dynamic, position will be bottom, duration will be 5 seconds, and when you dismiss this particular toast, is toast will be set to false. Otherwise, if you don't set it up, it's not going to get closed, and the next time you try to open it up, it's not going to work. So this is ready now. Let's go to our TS file and work with it into our upload file function. Now here I'll simply set is toast will be true, and toast data will be color, danger, and message will be no file selected. Okay, done. Let's move ahead. Now whenever we have to send some file to the server, we have to make use of the form data, because with the help of a JSON object, we directly cannot send the image. We can send any kind of a data, JSON data, but not an image. To send an image, form data is must. That is why I'm creating an object of form data called post data here. Within this post data, I need to use the append function, post data dot append function, where I'm going to pass a name. Let me call it file here. Okay, that's going to be the identifier key name for the file that we are going to send. Along with that, I need to send the file and the file name also. Okay, so these three things you need to send with the appending function within the form data for the image only. But for other stuff, you just need to pass the key and the value. That's the only to do. This is an exception for the image part or any file part. Now to upload this particular one, we need to use HTTP client, for which I need to go to the main.ts one because it is a standalone project. For ng modules one, you need to go to app.module.ts file, and in the providers one, simply pass provide HTTP client function. Okay. Once you do that up, you can definitely use the HTTP client in your project. Earlier you used to use HTTP client module, but it is deprecated now. So I'm going to pass here constant result will be equals to this dot TP. Okay, I need to inject the HTTP at first in order to use it up. So I'll go to the top before the constructor, because I'm not going to inject constructor. Using the latest feature that we have, I'm going to use it with the help of the inject function. Let me pass it client. It's done and it is imported also. Please check it out. Okay, once that is done, we can use it into our functionality dot post method we are going to use, because we are sending some data. Here the URL will come up, and then I need to pass the post data here. All right, now this will return what? It will return an observable. So this observable, I need to convert it into a promise, because we are using everything within try catch. So in order to convert it into a promise, I'll use last value from and make it await, because it's going to return a promise and we need the value here. With the help of await, we will get the actual value. So earlier you used to use to promise, but it is deprecated. So last value from or first value from can be used. Last value from will give you the final value that is coming. That is why I'm using it. Now we will get the final result within this result constant that you can log it here. All right. And once you get some result, definitely you can pass a toast message that the file is successfully uploaded and the color will be success. That's gonna be it. For the error one, we are going to just check it out in some time after working with the backend. In the backend, we are going to use Laravel this time. If you want to learn how to work with Node.js for file upload, definitely I made a video on that in my YouTube channel. Simply check it out. Now for the URL, we will do it when we work with the backend. For the backend, my XAMPP is already running and MySQL database and Apache web server is also running. So I need to create a project here with which we can directly work. So for creating a Laravel project, I will click on the open application folder. I'll go to the htdocs and I have here Laravel test apps where I'm going to create another project. So I'm just going to open it up in terminal and use the command Laravel new and the project name, any file upload. Okay, that's going to be the project name. Let me hit enter and this will be created. If you get the option to select a database or something, simply go with the default one, like SQLite is the default one. You can select that up. I'm not getting those options, so I'm not do that. That's completely your choice. Just go with the default things and everything will be fine for you. Or you can simply hit enter, 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 and it's going to take up if it asks you something. Now my project is created. I need to go inside the project folder here, any file upload, and open it up in Visual Studio Code. Now this is my project of Laravel where I will work with few things. Now if you do not know how to set up Laravel, I have already made a video on that, which you can just see it on the screen, and also it is available within our gift shop application series. So if you haven't watched that series, go and check that out right now. It's a beautiful series which consists of a bigger application called gift shop with the backend Laravel. Now in the HTTP, we are going to create a controller, and we also need to work with the route. That's going to be an API one. So in order to create data, we need to run certain commands. Let's do it one by one in the terminal. Now at first I'm going to show you how to create a controller. You need to run the command php artisan make controller. Then the controller name, let me give it file upload controller as the name. You can also give -- resource if you want some default functions, but I don't want to do that. I want a clean controller here, so I'm going to go for this particular command, and we have a clean controller here. Now in order to have the file api.php, I need to do certain things. We have Sanctum installed by default. If you go to the package.json, not exactly in the composer, mostly we'll have that. Now you can see here in the composer log, we have the Laravel Sanctum installed by default. So we can definitely work with that. Now how to work with that? I will go to the Laravel documentation here, where we have currently the latest version is 11. That's what we are working with. I'm going to search for Sanctum here. The first result that comes up, click on that and you will get inside it. Now simply scroll down. In order to install, you need to run this command to have the api.php file. Okay. If you're using Passport, or if you want to use Passport, definitely you can do that. You can search for Passport here, Laravel Passport, and within that you will simply get all the stuff, and you will have the api.php file using Passport with the help of this particular command. But I don't want that. I want the default things to be running. That is why what am I going to do? I will run the command which I just copied. So this will be my command, and I'm just going to hit enter. It's going to create a file here. Just focus on it. You will get a file in an instance. Now there you go. You got the file here, api.php, where we are going to create a route with the help of which we can pass our post data from our front end to the back end, and we can process it here in the controller one. So I'm going to work with this class file upload controller. I'll make a function here, public function file upload, where I'm going to accept some request this particular way, and this particular request is already imported here, so we don't need to worry about it. Now within this function, I'm going to at first validate my data. The file that we are going to get in the request, I'm going to validate whether that is a file or anything else. Means if there is no such file that I'm sending and I'm just hitting this URL or this route, I don't want anything to be done. I want to throw an error. Or if the file is bigger, I can do that also. In order to do that, I'm going to pass this validator here, where this particular validator is a predefined class that we can use it by importing it here in this particular way. Okay. Now it will help us to validate the request that we are getting and process the stuff that we are getting within that, like any file. That's what we are sending from the front end. Any file, this is the name. So it should be the same name. I have made it a required field. If it is not sent, I'm not going to go ahead and I'm going to throw an error. You can also do one more thing here. If you want to fix the value of it, like you don't want the file to exceed more than 2 MB, then you can do this particular thing. So 2048 KB is 2 MB, it's in KB. So maximum 2048 allowed. Okay, you can increase and increase as per your requirement. I've just given a basic idea how you can work with that. Now, how to check if the validator fails or not? I'll give a condition here, which is this particular condition. If the validator fails, then I'm going to return a response where I'm going to just give the errors. Okay. But if I'm getting an error for the image size, then it won't be detected properly here, for which I need to do certain other things, which will be actually the same stuff only, but in a different way. Let me just show you. So this will be the code for that, where I'm checking the validator fails, then I'm getting the errors that we are just passing directly, appending or adding one more thing within that particular error for this particular file, any file, because the name will be same there also. I'm adding another error here that the maximum file size to upload is 2 MB. That's what I'm adding it up so that the user can understand, okay, fine, it cannot accept more than 2 MB file. And then finally return the errors altogether. We will see in the front end how it looks like. Now it's time to upload the file, and for that the process is this particular one. I'm getting the file name with extension from the file that we have, any file, and using this particular function get client original name, we'll get the file name with extension. If you want to pass it directly, you can do that up, but if you want to append the time along with it, definitely you can go through this particular process by separating the file name and the extension. So within the file name, we already have added in our front end the date and now, but if you want in the backend also, definitely you can work with that too by separating these two and then appending it with time. This is how it can be done. If you don't want that, you can simply stop it. So one date and time will do for you, and then you can simply pass instead of this particular one. Let me just copy it and comment it up, just paste it once again with file name with extension here. Okay, now in this particular one, what am I doing? I'm storing it in the storage. Where exactly it is? It's going to be stored in the storage folder within the app, within the public. I'm just passing a folder name as files. If you want to change it, definitely you can, or if you don't want to pass it, it's going to be directly passed within the public folder here. Okay, finally this is the URL that we are going to get, which we need to hit, but this is just the URL for this particular one. You need to append the server name along with it. So I think this part is ready. It's time to return a response. Now for doing that, I'm just going to return a JSON response where success will be 1, and in the data I'm sending just the URL part. Okay, so our backend functionality is ready. It's time to work with this API.php to create a route. Now I'm just going to clear up everything here, and we'll create a post route. So route : post function. Now within this function, I just need to pass at first the route name, which is going to be any name. I'm just passing it as upload file, and then pass a comma. Then within the brackets, file the class name. So this will be the class name. Just select it. But actually we are not going to pass it in this particular way. In the latest one, we need to pass it in this particular way: class and comma the function name. So the function name is what? Let's check it out. File upload. Actually it's going to be any file upload. That's gonna be fine, much more relatable. This is what I'm going to send within the quotes here, and we also need to import it here because we need to pass the proper location. If you pass the proper location here, then also it's going to work, but doing it here, it's a better option to work with. Let me pass it here. This will be my import. Okay, once that is done, I won't face any trouble. Now I need to prepare the URL here, for which I need to run. Okay, I got something here that migration can be done. I don't want any migration to be done, so I'll just hit no and hit enter. Okay, this is done. I'm just going to run the command php artisan serve to run this particular server on this particular URL. So let's copy this URL. I will simply paste it here. I'm not going to pass it in the environment for the time being. Break the code. Along with that, I'm going to append API. That's how the API will work within the API.php. That's what we need to do. And then the route name, that's going to be the upload_file. Is that correct? Yes, it is. Everything is good to go. We have created the functionality for all these things except the toast message for the error. Let me prepare that also, then we can test it very easily. So in the toast message, what we are going to do when we are getting some error, actually this is the stuff that I'm going to do. Let me make it of type any so that it can have any value. Actually what we are going to get is, I'm just going to show the message that we get within the any file. So within the error E, we are going to get an error object. Within that we will get another error object, and then any file will come up. If this kind of a error we get, then we are simply going to actually append the arrays, string of array that we are going to get with the help of this array.join function. Otherwise, I will check for this kind of an error. If it exists, then I'm simply going to show the same error. Otherwise, file will be too large. Why am I doing that? I'm just going to explain in some time when I try to upload some larger files or something. Okay. So our functionality is, everything is ready here. It's time to try it out. So now let's try to upload a file, and also we are going to check the console log. So now we have the console log opened up. Let me try to select an image at first. This is the image. If I select it up, I'm getting the image data and everything. If I click on the upload, then it is saying file is too large. Why is that so? Let's check the error here. what we are getting within the error, we have the message undefined variable file name to store. Okay, let's check it out. What do we have here? File. Okay. This should be this particular one. Now I think the error will go away if I try it again. Let me clear it and click on the upload button once again. This time it is uploaded here. So actually it was not the error for the type of file that we selected. If I click on it again, if I check it here, the size is almost 4 KB. So it's pretty less than what we expect. Now let me try to pass a bigger file. Let's say we have this particular file which is 10 MB. If I try to pass that up, I'm getting the data here. This is an MP4 file. I click on upload and I'm getting the error, file too large. What kind of error am I getting here? Just check it out. I'm getting the error and directly as a string. Okay, so I'm not able to identify the process that we have just done. Okay, that is why I have given here. If this kind of a data does not exist, then I'm simply going to pass file too large, because I've seen that it's going to throw this kind of an error if we upload a bigger file. Okay, so I hope now you're clear why I have given file too large here in this particular condition. So the ternary operator I have used here to work with all these things. Now let's try to upload a different file. Let's try with this particular one, which is 4.5 MB. What kind of error do we get? Do we get the same error? Any file upload, okay, maximum file size to upload is 2 MB. So for 4.5 MB file, it is giving us the appropriate errors which we expected. Okay, so this kind of a data on the error that we get, any file, and within that the two messages that we have sent, mostly the one is by default and the second one we have appended, which is actually properly coming up into our toast message also. So the logic that we have prepared here is working pretty nicely, and the array is also getting appended. Now let's try it again. I'm going to go for a PDF one. So I'll try to upload a PDF. It is successfully uploaded. Then I'm going to try to upload a doc file, and if I click on the upload, it is uploaded now. Let's try to upload a video also. So let me just check it out. 2.8 MB. This is 152 KB. Let's try this particular one. If I click on that, you can see this is uploaded. Where it is uploaded? In the Laravel server, in the storage app public, you can see files folder is created by default, and we have all these files here which are uploaded. So this is how it is working. I hope you have understood how we have worked with uploading of the file. Right, so you can upload any kind of a file here. If you have a bigger file which cannot be accepted by this, you might need to change some setting, then only you can do that up. Otherwise it's going to give you some errors. For the time being, the functionality that we need is successfully achievable, and we have done that up. We have passed the toast messages wherever it's needed. So the design is looking proper here. So I hope you like this particular video. If you like this video, make sure you hit the like button, do subscribe to the channel if you haven't done that. You can also check out our courses and templates that we have made for you guys. Links are there in the description. Offers are going on. Go and check that right now. With that being said, I'm going to wrap up the video for the day. So thank you so much for watching, and I'm going to see you next time.
So that's it. We have come to the end of this video, and we have executed lots of things. So with this, I'm going to wrap up this video for the day. Thank you so much for watching. Do share with your friends. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe it. Do check out the courses if you want to learn more. Do check out the templates if you want some quick templates to integrate in your application. And there is a food delivery application complete platform also available. Links are there in the description. Check that out and let me know if you need anything more. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'm going to see you in the next one.